Hi, today's video is all about the original Sony ZV1. This is the original vlogging camera Sony made about 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer. I'd say 3 or 4 years ago, probably 4, but I'll put it up on the screen, whatever it was. And why I think it'd be quite cool to pick it up if you get it second hand, because you can get this for a real little bargain. So I originally picked up this camera for a trip I took and just carry around and take little videos here and there when I needed it. Unfortunately, when I arrived, there was a typhoon, so I didn't really get much of a chance, as you can see here. It's really good for YouTube, but not really for vlogging, and I'll explain why in just a second. I'm on at the moment the Sony A7 IV with a Samyang VAF 24mm lens. This will pick up loads of light. I don't need as much lighting. In fact, I've probably overpowered it at the moment. But with this little camera, as it's got a 1-inch sensor rather than full frame or APS-C, you're going to need a little bit more light for it. But when you do, it's a great little camera to use. It's got a 24 to 70mm equivalent lens. It's a Zeiss lens, which is nice. It's stabilized in the lens and it's got active stabilization, which crops in a little bit more. Got a 1-inch sensor, so that's why it doesn't let in as much light. It's pretty simple. It's 8-bit compared to the 10-bit video on this camera here, but sometimes that doesn't really matter as long as you're not pushing it too much and you can just use it in its normal setting. I'm going to use it in S-Log2 for this. Some of the video I use in H-Log as well, so like the HD version. I'll put on the screen if it's in S-Log or it's in H-Log. I'm on the Samyang 24mm here. I'm going to switch to this, and this will be on the 24mm here. You're going to see a slight difference in framing. Also, apologies for the mic here in shot, but yeah, there's a big microphone in shot. Sorry about that. Normally try and keep it out, but this time I thought, well, whatever. And now we are on ZV1. Hi, this is Editor Me now. Looking back at the footage, I thought, wow, it's really dark. I realised I left the ND filter on. So, with the ND on, it made it extra dark. Right, go on there now. So it is ND on, and then so I had to really crank it up to bring up the brightness, and it made it quite a, I don't know, messy looking footage with lots of colouring and just noise in there generally. This is actually what it's supposed to look like, so I want to add this bit in here to say that was my mistake. This is what it actually looks like, and don't go too much by the talking head footage, more the other footage. This is what it can look like indoors, and you can get a very, very nice image. Anyway, hope that helps. Oh, one thing I would say as well, a couple of the negatives on this is overheating, and I missed out battery life as well. So the battery life on this can be quite bad. You're lucky to go about 30 minutes. But hey, there you go. Okay, thank you. Back to old me with really grainy, dirty footage. I did some vlogging tests. This is what it's like vlogging. It's not as stable as I like, but here's the result. This is with steady shot off. So that's what it looks like there with steady shot off. As you can see, it's quite bright. The ND's on as well, and this is at f4. So you get this kind of look. Crazy, huh? This is what it looks like standard. It doesn't actually crop in. Still very tight though. But this is standard on there. And this is with active steady shot on. It's pretty cropped in a bit more, but hopefully it should stop some of the bouncing. And should be a bit easier to walk with this, but it's going to be really cropped into my ugly fat face, and that's what that looks like there. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to use this, my DJI Action 3. So now I'm going to switch to this, and this is what this looks like. It's going to be a lot more smoother. I think it's going to be a lot more straightforward. As you can see there, I've got a lot more in shot than this. So yeah, I think if I was going to vlog a lot, I would actually use this more than I would use the ZV1. So if we go next to each other here, you can see how much more I get shot at the same distance away from my arms. It's crazy actually, isn't it? This looks better, the ZV1, but this you get a lot more in shot. So I think this is actually a lot better for vlogging. So this is what I get if I use my iPhone. And to be honest, I think this is actually much better than using the ZV1. So this is on the iPhone. That's what it looks like here, using the Blackmagic app. Not too bad, and it's front-facing camera, so it's not even the best looking camera. It has a microphone built into it. It's not directional like the newer models, but it does have a microphone built in. So if I put on, this is without the windshield on, and this is with the windshield, you probably hear no difference, but it's nice that it's actually got sound built in and you can hear the environment around you. You don't need to bring a microphone out, and you can just talk into the camera like this, which is kind of cool. So I've got quite a good zoom, so zoom in here. Go to about the 70 there, and then I can push it a little bit more with the clear image zoom. And that pigeon there, if you can see it. And then if I go all the way back again, sorry about the bouncing, that's my dog's pulling my arm. Go to there. There you go. And somewhere in those trees over there, there's a woodpecker. Not sure if the mic's picking it up. I'm not quite sure where the woodpecker is either. Somewhere over there, there is a woodpecker. And then zoom all the way back. See where clear image zoom stopped, where it stopped for a second. So as you can see, it's not that stable. It's quite tight as well for vlogging. For something like this though, it's absolutely excellent because you can set it up, you can talk to the camera. I've got another mic set up here, but you've got a mic input. You can plug in a better mic if you like, or you can use the mics on the camera. And if I switch back, and now back to a bigger microphone. If you are going to get a camera just for vlogging, I would recommend picking up the DJI Pocket 3 because that is more made for that. It's basically a gimbal with a camera on it, so it's going to be really steady. It's 10-bit, same size sensor as this, so you're going to get that kind of look as well. And you can probably pick one of them up for a little bit more than you buy one of these second hand. But that brings me to the main reason to get this camera. It's really, really good for a second-hand camera. I got this really cheap. I got it for just under £300, which is pretty much nothing for a camera with this good quality, with 24mm, or you can zoom right in into 70mm here. As you can tell, it gets a bit darker as I zoom in because it is an 18 f/18 or f1.8 to f2.8, so it's a bit darker here, but you get more of that kind of blurry background look in the background. Not you can see much there anyway, but it gives you that more blurry background if you zoom in like this. Obviously you need a bit more light, but set this back a bit and you can get more of that look. Let's zoom out again. You don't want to see my ugly face so close. There you go. And sometimes I do use this as my B-roll cam. So it's not the best for everything. You can use your phone camera for vlogging, you can use your phone camera for videos. I still recommend something like this. You can just put it in your pocket. It's a dedicated video camera. I take this to work every day. I work in London, so if I see something in the city that's fun to record, I can record it on this, rather than having to take a big full frame camera like this around with me every day. That'll get broken in seconds. This is scratched to bits. I've dropped it several times, but it still runs. And I bought it second hand. Negatives, it does overheat. I wouldn't really want to run it for more than 20 minutes to half an hour without the risk of it overheating, and if it's a really hot day it might be even less. It's not the most amazing screen, so in high sunlight you're not going to see much. Plus the ND filter doesn't cut out that much inside it, so you might have to actually stop it down quite a lot to get a decent image, but hey, you get more in frame then whatever. Nice lens, it's got a Zeiss lens in it, pretty nice image, you can see it here, and all the other tests I've done on it. It's fun, that's the main thing, it's fun. It's got a decent little microphone on top, it's got really nice autofocus, it's keeping up with my eye pretty well, no problems there. It's made for people to vlog. I don't think it's a vlogging camera, but it is a creator camera that you can use indoors, you can use out and about, you can use it to film family events or holidays. Absolutely brilliant, really cheap price, great starter for YouTube, things like that. Just get yourself a good microphone, some lights, that's the main part, and then this image is absolutely fine. The only problem I would find though, to be honest, is this is its widest field of view. Don't quite think it's wide enough. You can get add-ons. I know, I think it's Alanzi and some other companies. So I'll put them on the screen now to actually expand the vision of this. But then if you did want to expand it to 20mm, say, then you'd have to get the latest version. That's a lot more money. And do I think it's worth it? That's when I'd say maybe look at something like the ZV1 or something like that. On the other hand, if you want something simple, this will do the job really well. I mean, this is the image you get. Not too bad. To end this video, I'm going to switch back to my full frame camera and give you an idea of what this looks like compared to this that costs a hell of a lot more money. Okay, back on the full frame camera just to give you a comparison. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.